A 2016 meeting involving Donald Trump Jr. and a Russian lawyer is getting a new explanation from President Trump. In a tweet yesterday defending his son, the president said this was a meeting to get information on an opponent. Totally legal and done all the time in politics, and it went nowhere. I did not know about it.
When the meeting was first revealed a year ago, Trump Jr. said the participants primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children. A day later, Trump Jr. said the Russian lawyer offered vague, ambiguous information that Russians were helping Hillary Clinton. 2 days after that, Trump Jr. released emails showing he was offered damaging information on Clinton. When the president was asked about the meeting, he downplayed the potential political value.
Most people would have taken that meeting. It's called opposition research. I guess they talked about, as I see it, they talked about adoption and some things. Adoption wasn't even a part of the campaign.
2 months ago, the president's attorney, Jay Sekulow, acknowledged Mr. Trump dictated the initial statement referring to adoption. Now, he had denied that the president was involved in the meeting, and the stories about it are a big part of the special counsel's Russia's investigation. Paula Reid is in Alexandria, Virginia, covering the trial of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. So, Paula, before we take a look ahead to week 2 of the Manafort case, is the president right when he says that the Trump Tower meeting was, quote, totally legal? And how big of a deal is this? How important is it?
Well, to special counsel Robert Mueller, it's incredibly important. He is looking at the Trump Tower meeting as one of a pattern of meetings between Trump campaign officials and Russian operatives. U.S. campaigns cannot coordinate or receive any support from foreign nationals. So the question is, was it just a meeting, or was this part of a larger effort to coordinate the sort of release of information about the opponent or in any way meddle in the election? We know the special counsel has already charged over a dozen Russians with conspiring to meddle in our elections. So the question now for these investigators is, did anyone in the Trump campaign participate? Now, there is some other legal exposure for Donald Trump Jr. He has not yet been interviewed by special counsel. That should concern him, his father, and anyone around him, because typically, if you're just a witness, if you're just offering evidence, you are brought in much earlier in an investigation. But if he is interviewed, he needs to make sure that he tells the truth, because clearly there's a lot of different versions about what happened. And while it's not a crime to release a false press release, it is a crime to lie to the FBI. There are also questions about possible perjury. He testified before Congress. His father didn't know about the Trump Tower meeting, but if that turns out not to be true, that's another possible exposure for him.
All right, day 5 of Paul Manafort's trial on tax evasion and bank fraud charges. What are you expecting this upcoming week of testimony?
This is going to be a big week, and the prosecution says they should be able to wrap up their case by the end of the week. They will continue to urge this jury to follow the money. Now, last week, the star piece of evidence was this $15,000 ostrich coat that sort of came to symbolize Manafort's taste in luxury. But this week, it's going to be all about his former business associate and deputy campaign chairman, Richard Gates. He is the star prosecution witness, and of course, he agreed to testify against Manafort in exchange for leniency in his own criminal case.
All right, Paula, thank you very much.